I'm standing at the massive Intel Ohio Gigafactory project. You know the project, the one that was supposed to be done this year producing state-of-the-art microchips. Instead, it's delayed to 2030 or 2031. Here's what everybody's freaking out about. Will this delay crash the local housing market here in Central Ohio? After all, the project was slated to bring in $405 million in annual payroll to this small community, significantly increasing the real estate market as both residents and investors move to this area. I live only 10 minutes from here, and it's like a war zone right now. Day in and day out, massive trucks flowing through the area like this one behind me. Imagine dealing with all this dust and grime if you're one of these homeowners that live right off this old country road that's now basically like a dump truck haven. The job site is massive. We're talking 1,000 acres. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I count 19 cranes on the job site. Hard to see probably in this video because it's a little ways off. When it's in full swing, it will have 7,000 to 10,000 construction workers crawling around the job site. And then permanent employees are projected to be about 3,000 with the average salary at $100,000. Intel lost roughly $19 billion in 2024, and they hadn't lost money since 1984. So they're hemorrhaging cash. They have a leadership change with a new CEO over the past few months, and they're projecting that microchip demand in the US could fall, maybe because we may be entering a recession. But you add all that up, and what happens? They start to slow down the project. The slower progress that we're seeing at the job site really mirrors what we're seeing in the Central Ohio housing market. Hey, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Jason Ferrier. I'm a Central Ohio real estate professional, and I've been doing it now for 7 years. Overall, Central Ohio home prices have rocketed 45 to 50% upwards since 2019. Now, this growth has created substantial equity windfalls for existing homeowners. But the price gains have also crushed affordability for the new buyers entering the market. Now the home price growth has screeched to a tepid 1.6% growth year over year, with the median home price in Central Ohio now sitting at $305,000. Now that is a dramatic slowdown, and maybe it's a signal that, hey, we've hit a ceiling on prices and most people now are just priced out of the market. Comment below if that's you. If you're in Ohio or anywhere else, do you feel like you've been priced out of the housing market? A quick interruption to remind you to subscribe to The Housing Nerd, like this video, and share it with someone else. All right, back to the Intel stuff. Now I know what you're saying. Jason, hey, prices are unhinged. Tell me something I don't know, right? Well, what we really need to talk about is inventory. Because in the housing market, supply is the factor you have to watch for when you're looking at home prices and where they may go in the near future. A lot of these trends that I'm seeing with the inventory in Central Ohio are very similar to what I'm seeing in many markets through the US. The first one is days on market. Remember when every home that hit the market sold in the first day, 2 days, 3 days, buyers really had no chance to even look at homes before putting a bid in? Well, that has changed a lot, especially here in Central Ohio. Now we're at 45 days on market, meaning homes are sitting longer right now than they have over the last 5 years. And by the way, inventory of homes for sale, the total inventory, that's up now in Central Ohio. As of February's data, it's up 27% year over year. Round and round the roundabout. One of the cool things they put out here were roundabouts, and that's part of the infrastructure they put in, but it's definitely not a country road the way it used to be. I may have found a spot here that I can show you some of the cranes. I'm going to drive around this little parking lot and see if I can get a better shot, but check this out. Hey, there's a lot of cranes over there. It's pretty impressive from a construction standpoint. The other thing that stood out to me when I looked at the February stats was buying demand. That's down 9%. There were 9% fewer home sales last month compared to the previous year. So just when we all thought the market couldn't get any slower in Central Ohio, it certainly is getting slower. This next stat, though, is the biggest red flag. New listings of homes for sale under $500,000, those are actually down 8.6% year over year. Affordable homes, if you can call a $400,000 house affordable, I guess that's where we are right now. Unreal, right? Those are down 8.6% year over year. But new listings of homes over $500,000, those are up 10% year over year. The reason why this stat is so alarming, as we move into the spring selling season, I would have hoped we would have seen more affordable inventory hit the street, but we haven't. So while you may have more inventory of homes for sale in Central Ohio and in other parts of the U.S. versus last year, a lot of that inventory are homes that the average person can't afford. Comment below, are you seeing that in your market? A lot of expensive homes for sale, not a lot of affordable homes for sale. So what we're seeing is rate lock. Basically, existing homeowners who have affordable homes with ultra low interest rates from a few years ago are unwilling to give those homes up, put them on the market, and move up into that $500,000 plus house. And until interest rates come down, and I don't see that rate lock really changing unless people have to sell. If they just want to sell and not need to sell, those affordable homes are going to remain scarce. I just saw an update from Mortgage Bankers Association predicting interest rates for the next 2 years. They're predicting 6.5% for this year. And are you ready for this? 6.4% for 2026. If that remains true, folks, you're going to see this lock-in effect stay cemented in the ground for a long time. And to demonstrate the lock-in effect, take a look at this. This is my market status update report. I put this out every month. The link's in my description below. And I do this for the Central Ohio market because I have access to the MLS. And this, my friends, will tell you the true story of affordability and what's really going on in the housing market. Instead of just saying, hey, we have more inventory for sale, things are good, woo! You have to look at details like this by price point and by school district. So check this out. Many school districts sit at a shockingly low months of supply in the entry-level segment. And months of supply is how long it takes to sell through the existing inventory if we maintain our current pace of sales. A higher months of supply equals a stronger buyer's market and a weaker seller's market. A lower months of supply equals a lower buyer's market and a higher, stronger seller's market. All right, I'm gonna walk down the street here. They actually have built like a bike path of sorts. So that was nice of Intel to do. Take my farmland, give me a bike trail. And on this chart, the red means a strong seller's market. A blue means a strong buyer's market. Schools like Bexley, Canal Winchester, New Albany, they all have basically zero affordable inventory. Homes priced under $300,000 are essentially non-existent. And most of the other markets aren't much better. So I don't know if you can see this or not, but this sums up what's happened in Central Ohio with this Intel Gigafactory. You have cows right there, basically just hanging out, right, at this working farm beside me, by the way. And right in the backdrop of it is the Intel Monolith Gigafactory. Crazy. But yeah, this looks like a working farm. I mean, you can see it behind me. And they still have their silos here. You can see some hope with Southwest Licking Schools where we're at 2.3 months of supply, meaning we're not a super strong seller's market, but by no means are we a buyer's market. You really need about 5 months of supply to hit a buyer's market. When you look at that next price category up, the $300,000 to $500,000 range, there's only one school district that has any meaningful inventory, and that's Mount Vernon. Now look at that last column, $500,000 plus homes. That's where you see a lot more blue. For instance, where this project is located is basically in the Johnstown school system. You can see there's 10.2 months of supply for homes priced over $500,000. But even that, you really have to break out into segments because there are properties around this Intel facility that are priced over $1 million. But it's because they have 5, 6, 10 acres. It's not a typical house you're going to see a first-time home buyer even venture into. Nonetheless, if you're looking for a strong buyer's market, over $500,000 homes in Johnstown are the ticket. The other areas like Licking Heights, 4.6 months of supply. That's a balanced market. And then you've got an area like Mount Vernon, 5.4 months of supply for over $500,000 homes. That is actually in a buyer's market. Speaking of pricing, in the last 4 weeks, nearly 25% of all homes on the market here in Central Ohio have had a price cut. That's right. The seller has cut the price on 25% of all the listed homes. But when those homes are usually priced over 500 grand, oftentimes wish pricing, like not need to sell, but just want to sell, you're going to see a lot of price cuts. So it doesn't mean there's a bunch of great deals out there. However, if you are looking for a more expensive home, a luxury home, there's probably a deal out there for you. I can tell you I've helped buyers in the last couple months snag properties over $500,000 under list price, far under list price, because there are a good amount of expensive homes on the market. And a lot of those homes are just rotting and not selling. Here's another crazy stat about the market. 90 homes per week on average are being delisted from the market right now in Central Ohio, meaning the seller has just removed it from the market. Oftentimes they relist it because then it comes across on everyone's feed and through the internet as a new listing. Despite this intel delay, I wouldn't count your chickens there's going to be a housing crash. And this is kind of par for the course for a lot of areas of the US. Why is that? It's because of supply and demand, folks, and because of inventory. If you got no inventory, you got no crash. So if you're a Central Ohio home buyer, you need to do things others are unwilling to do. That means look off market. Be willing to buy something that needs fixing up. Don't just go after that move-in ready house. That's the wrong strategy because you're just either going to get outbid or get frustrated when the prices don't match your budget. Now, if you're a seller, you got to price that home correctly. Don't overprice your home in this market because overpriced homes, generally speaking right now, are not moving like they were a few years ago. If you're an investor, property taxes have gone up a ton, but the demand that we thought we were going to see from this Intel facility hasn't really arrived yet. So I'd be super cautious about doing any type of overestimating of rent growth. If that thing doesn't cash flow on day one, I don't buy it. So whether you're a buyer, seller, investor, you need to work with someone who understands the data behind the headlines, not just it's a great time to buy or Intel is coming in, demand's going to explode. That's not helpful. Work with someone that understands what's happening behind the scenes and underneath the headline data that you read in the newspaper, see on Instagram or Facebook. Now, if you're thinking about buying a home, there are hidden costs to home ownership that you need to be aware of. Lucky for you, I made a video just this week about those hidden costs and how you can get trapped into debt. And you can find it right here, right there, up here.